about things from games, anime to manga, and beyond. Woo! Plus Ultra.
To the moon! Dogecoin.
What?
To the moon, to the moon. You wouldn't. People who are watching this understand. To
Okay.
the moon.
If you understand,
To the moon.
let us. Don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
Jenna, what's our question of the day?
All right, guys. So we have a very important question today. What we're gonna go over is simply this: is the top anime of now better than the top anime of old?
Are the top anime?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I say?
Is.
Top?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, but that's a very wide variety. Are you going big three?
Well, let's say, because you know the top anime back then was most likely the big three: One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto. And the top anime now is, I think, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Black Clover.
I also think now it's a matter of opinion. Like, there's no really big three anymore.
There's no big three, so let's just say the top since it's all shonen, the top shonen anime back then to top shonen anime now.
So we always get into this weird situation where we have really awesome conversations, but it's off camera. So do we remember what we were talking about?
Yes.
What were we talking about? We were talking about Naruto, and we compared it to... What is Naruto compared to today?
I think My Hero Academia. I think.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
I think so. I mean, I think all in all, I think it's very important to like specify. Like, I would not put Attack on Titan. Not that it's not a top anime. I just wouldn't put it on the list of shonen type anime. And when I think shonen, I'm thinking My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and Demon Slayer. Those are the three that I would consider as a top three shonen to compare with the top big three of the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, if that's like the comparison, then obviously it's a matter of like, well, can we compare left versus right? I mean, I think Asta, if we're going Black Clover, for example, Asta of early days versus Naruto, they're both the same people. They were annoying as hell, and they were loud as hell. But, which was a better anime?
Did Naruto really train?
He cried,
yes?
and then had flashbacks of being worse. That's all Naruto did. Naruto is just like
Naruto definitely had
I was
more
the
flashbacks,
lonely
I think.
kid. No one loved me. I was
I'm
only
gonna sit
swinging
on this
alone.
swing.
And then they play that, and I'm just like, bro, okay, now we get it. You a loner. We get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. That's a fair comparison.
Do you think, because we were talking about it, do you think the old big three had like a lot more plot armor?
Of course.
And for those who don't know, what is plot armor?
You want to explain it?
I mean, really, I can only give you the Nigerian definition, which is just actor no they die, which just means the main actor doesn't die, which is very straightforward. They will bend heaven and earth just to make sure that, you know, the main person always wins. You had mentioned Goku. You can explain
Goku and Goku. Naruto.
Yeah. Oh, so I saw something that made like perfect sense as I was like looking at it. Someone said there is literally no reason that Vegeta, the prince or now the king of all Saiyans, should be stronger than Goku. Goku is just some regular ass Saiyan nigga that's on the planet Earth now, and then Vegeta's like been raised on planet Saiyan. Like he came up in that like environment. So why is this dude who's the prince / king of all Saiyans weaker than this one?
Is Goku regular?
Yes.
I mean, the fans be treating him like
he's just a nigga who's a Saiyan who just didn't grow up on the planet Saiyan. He grew up on Earth, and they're like, "Oh, what are you? You turn into a monkey. Oh, you fly. Oh, you like he's not nothing special."
This kind of sounds racist when you think. Yeah, it kind of sounds racist when you think.
I have a huge bias against Dragon Ball Z, but like, again, he's nothing special. He has like major plot armor of just being Goku.
That's fair. But that's the plot armor. But no, I guess comparing the old to be versus new, like in terms of plot armor, I'm like, I didn't really give One Piece much of a try. I mean, I know it and I watched some episodes, but like it's like 900 episodes deep. I would rather eat a shoe than to be honest, like it's not a waste of my time. But like I'm thinking about Bleach, and I'm thinking Bleach did have plot armor. I'm thinking like, cause like any little thing, all that dude did is like 1 minute he's like, this is my limits, and then boom, he's broken his limits. How did he break it? He just broke it, cause you know he's Ichigo. That's literally all he did. It's just Ichigo.
That's fair.
He broke his limits. So I mean, to be fair, you can make those parallels between everything. Where it's like even in MHA, you know the main character every now and then he's like breaking limits here and there, but.
It's not as much.
It's not as much, really.
I think of like a scene from Demon Slayer. Spoiler, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but like there's a scene in Demon Slayer where the main character, I forget his name, he's fighting, like, one of the big bad demons, the spider guy, and basically, like, he kind of gathers all his strength and does, like, one last hit, and he thinks he kills the guy, but lo and behold, he actually doesn't. But he's like, I'm tapped out, like, that was my last powerful hit. So, like, the guy's about to kill him, and, like, his plot armor comes, but it doesn't come in the fact, like, oh, I'm getting more strength. It comes in the fact, like, someone's saving me.
Yes.
Which I thought was cool. Like, that's a good use of plot armor of the main character doesn't die, but it's not like he's dying because I'm getting new strength because I'm the main character. It was just like, someone had to save him. Because there was no reason he could, like, get back up.
It makes sense, which, if we did that in Naruto terms, we already know how this is going to go down. It's just going to be like, through the power of friendship, Naruto has a flashback, Kakashi's like, good job. His dad is like, I'm proud of you. And then everyone else is just like,
no dad.
I don't care. His mom was like, I'm egging you on. I believe in you. Okay, in his gut feelings, whoever made him is like, the fox is talking to him like, you've got this.
The fox.
I'm going to lend you some of my power. And then all of a sudden, boom. Naruto was like the strongest. I keep thinking back to the Naruto versus Pain fight. And it hurts my feelings because even as a kid, I was naive. But like, when I watched that fight, I was like, at the end of it all, they fought, and then Naruto was, and then Pain was like, yeah, I've heard your story. I think this is fascinating, and whatever the hell he said. He's like, yeah, fine, you win. That was basically the whole fight, and I'm like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, because Pain literally wiped out everyone, and then Naruto comes, and he basically beat Naruto to death as well, in my opinion, and then they just was like, yeah, talk, and I'm like, problems aren't really solved by talking. People who want violence would just be violent. Like, I'm just thinking,
solved by whooping ass.
Truly, I'm just thinking, like, if Gandhi was part of the Black Lives Movement, wouldn't they have popped that nigga a long time ago? It's a separate conversation, but here and there. Anyways, that's just neither here nor there. My point still stands that at the end of the day, I'm like, I just don't know.
I personally don't like Naruto. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I just thought it was boring. Like, I even watched the whole Naruto Hundo thing when they did it on Cartoon Network. It was a lot. But
it's a lot of filler.
When I try to, like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back and finish it. Like, years later, it's like, no, I'm not. Especially now that I know the ending too. Mm-hmm. But then when I watch, like, newer anime, maybe it's just the ones that I watch. But My Hero Academia, I haven't watched Demon Slayer yet, but seems interesting. Black Clover, like, those things are kind of more interesting. Bleach. So
I have like a controversial thought or whatever. Was the big three of old only so good because the anime that was coming out then wasn't good?
I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's true?
I know Yu Yu Hakusho was great.
No, that didn't come out then.
But still, though, like, they had...
That's what I'm saying. They had good ones, but that's different. That's different time zones.
But there were probably good ones, but they probably just weren't on Toonami or something like that.
You think so?
I liked One Piece. And, like, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece are, like, those marathon-esque...
They are.
Like, anime, so maybe because of that, the storyline is different. Also, I'm gonna do a separate video about this, but AOT is the GOAT, and I would not let anyone else tell me otherwise.
I feel like there's a lot of good anime out right now, and you can, like, kind of list them off, as opposed to back then, the big three were the good anime.
What were other anime that were out?
I think it's not necessarily that, it's just more of anime acceptance, to be fair. Because I'm not necessarily saying there wasn't much anime being accepted, but like compare the acceptance rate of like, oh, I watched this and I want to watch enough that compared to then versus now. Because even though you're saying what was the big three, I would throw in, Death Note. I don't know if we threw it around that time, but Death Note is definitely not.
I think the big three is only particular to Shōnen, I believe.
Yeah, no, it's particular to Shōnen, but I'm saying like even if you're comparing like anime of old versus like the anime of now.
So what else besides Death Note came out? Because
like, if you're just thinking of Shōnen, I believe the big three is just Shōnen.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of just Shōnen that came out then, I believe those three were the best out of the worst bunch. I mean, and that's why they're like, damn, this is amazing because it's not the same as what you were getting from the other Shōnen anime.
If we're only talking about Shōnen and acceptance, I don't think they were dubbing a lot of the other anime that we could have watched.
I'm sure they were on Toonami. And I feel like it's widely accepted that those are the big three. So people who still even watch other shonen, they're like, okay, the big three were Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece.
I mean, but that's because most of the times when you compare them, they pave the way. Like, what...
But how do they pave the way? Of filler, of long-ass stories?
Wait, no, regardless of even paved, like, think about it. Most of your most popular your shonens to date, you can draw enough parallels to Naruto or Bleach, and
really
you can draw a lot of parallels. So like they paved the way, regardless of how much filler and everything there is. We can criticize it all we want, but we can't change the fact that they are the big three because of the groundbreaking. I know because you can think back to your high school days and you knew the weirdos who run with their arms behind their backs.
I don't even know why you did that.
Exactly.
Like it's not even comfortable. Like I tried it. Like I'm like, oh, there must be something to this.
But we saw that and we're there. You know, we all had our moments where it was like, if I train hard enough, maybe I can walk on water. What does Jesus nigga know? You know, what does he know? Because he might have been a ninja in the Naruto, and that's where they got it from.
What does Jesus nigga know?
That's the truth. And so it's just like you have to like think like they did certain things that you know it really. Because I'm thinking now like what in a new anime have I thought was like, holy hell, I really want to try this. Because, like, I'm thinking, I know when I was younger, I did Naruto hand symbols. I did this. I saw Bleach, and I was like, wow, I want to have, like, a big-ass sword or something in my... So I'm thinking, like, what... Exactly.
Hey, man, One Piece really makes you want to be a
with
pirate.
The straw hat with the straw hat and everything. So you're thinking, like... I'm thinking, like, while the new anime is good, it's just, like... It begets the question in my mind, which is that... Is it that it's not making enough... like groundbreaking moments, or is it that there's a lot of anime to the point where it's like you're getting that impact, and so you're getting that impact elsewhere.
So then that like kind of asks the question that is it not as impactful because we've already seen it? Like, would it be more impactful if we hadn't already seen this? Like, I know for a fact that when I watch new Shōnen anime specifically, I always compare the characters to Naruto. Like, I see the main character, like, oh, that's Naruto. Oh, his best friend. Oh, that's obviously Sasuke because of what he acts. Oh, the one girl, that's Sakura. Like, I do compare it, but is it because, like, since I've seen that so much, is this not as impactful?
I don't want to say that it's this desensitization, or that we're desensitized, but I'm going to, like, use a weird analogy. Mm-hmm. You know, like, when the first slave-esque movie came out, like, Roots was, like, the first slave movie that I'm aware of. It's like, oh, shit, Roots, that's groundbreaking. Oh, this is amazing. But then Hollywood keeps, you know, pumping that shit out, and I'm just like, ugh. You got something else?
Right.
So, like, really, that's why I made the statement about Attack on Titan, because that writing and, like, everything really, like, made me, like, say, oh, my God, because, yeah, I mean, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece were very impactful, but when you watch My Hero, it's like, this is cool. This is nice. Yeah. And then when you watch the other ones, maybe it's me personally, but it takes a lot for an anime to actually be like,
different.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I think it is because I think it's because of the fact that since we've seen like these tropes already so heavily, it's not as like, damn, this is awesome. Like the first time my first shonen I think was Yu Yu Hakusho, but Yu Yu Hakusho is very different from Naruto. So when I saw Naruto, I was like, wow, this is so different. This is like, you know, it's not the typical. It's like 3-4 guys and they're like going out fighting. It's like it's this guy, this other like emo dude, and a girl who's useless. You know, it's just like, that's what it was, and that's like how it is now.
It's not that we don't like these anime, it's just that, you know, I don't know.
I think you outgrow it, because like, I loved Bleach then, probably going to watch Bleach now, I probably wouldn't love it as much.
I like Bleach then.
It's like, it's super long, he has a lot of plot armor, like you were saying earlier, like Naruto, you can't really watch it because it's boring as hell. Like, I believe that too, if I go back and watch it, I'd be like, this is mad boring. Like, you know?
I think it's just more of it's a formula. It's like, think about it. If there's a tried and true and tested formula that this is what works, and then if you can just put a little bit of flavor of a different location or a different style, then obviously you are on the way to potentially making a great anime, which is what, like, again, I'm thinking back to MHA, My Hero Academia. I'm like, yeah, it has a lot of, like, I can draw plot lines between him and Naruto. Granted, they're not the same person, but, like, there are certain things, because, again, we've seen the formula. So I feel like it's less of like we're desensitized. It's just that we are used to the formula. And so if something else comes out 10 years from now, 5 years from now, again, we're still probably going to be using that Naruto formula unless someone else comes with something that changes it up a little bit. That shakes it up or changes the formula or changes the mere foundation. Because as it stands for me, I'm not going to say like the exact formula for Shōnen, but usually it always has something with like loser kid who maybe may or not have both parents or one parent or no parent. The underdog, you know, it's just like there's
no friend, a girl who's just there.
Sounds like how Disney has a formula.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not gonna change it. It's because they keep, you know, making money.
If you're making money and it's a good enough formula, then it's just a matter of like seeing where you can make your tweaks that can bring people in. Which is why I feel like this is the big. If we're talking big three, no matter what happens, I feel like they will consistently follow that Naruto, comparison no matter what. However, there are more anime. There's a lot better anime now that I feel like we can compare the nows versus the then. Because now I'm like, I can only think of like Death Note, maybe Steins Gate, and a couple or others that are like 2010 and behind and below. Yeah. But now I'm thinking 2010 and above. I feel like I can mention a lot more. I can say The Promised Neverland.
That's what I'm saying. Because there was like a lack of anime, and there was like they weren't as good.
A lack of our access. I feel like
maybe a lack of access and a lack of just like it not being there in front of us, and like having these three prominently in front of us. That's why it was so like, wow, these are amazing. You know?
I mean, but even then, it's just like what Naruto then was doing. Like, I was following it heavily. Like, even though I was following some anime like The Prince of Tennis and some other things, I'm like, I don't think I was as invested as I was when it was with Naruto compared to everything else. That's what I'm saying. Like, regardless of whether or not we may not have had that much anime, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece in their own right were ridiculously impactful enough to the point. Like, the only thing I can think of now that has like a similar level of strong impact that's not shonen is JoJo. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is the only anime I can think of that has as much
JoJo references everywhere.
There are JoJo references everywhere, and so it has as much impact in a way as like, you know, it has the impact that I expected when I saw Naruto kind of things. Because again, I'm not seeing that level of impact from other shonens, and I feel like it's because a lot of them are following that formula probably almost a little bit too to the nose. And then it's a question of like, is it the problem of them following the formula, or is it us as consumers? And the reason I bring this up as a question is because the more people watch a show, obviously the more popular it is. It's not to say that everyone who makes shonen follows that formula, but it's like probably not as many people are watching your shows, which is kind of what's happening.
So then let's take out impactfulness and like making you feel like, oh, this is really good. Let's just stack them up as shows like between the two, like Naruto versus My Hero Academia, because like they're both the most similar. If you never saw both of them, like take it out of your mind, you're watching both of them at the moment concurrently, which one would you think is better?
Okay, so it depends on how old I am and what time period, because to be honest, if I remember correctly, I think I saw a snippet of Naruto before I even really knew what anime was. I think I saw some other show. I was like, oh, this is cool. Oh, it's anime? Nice. But like, I think it was the episode when Tsunade was on a snail. No, there was a giant fucking sword. And I was like, wait, what is that?
What's happening?
And then when I go back and then I watch it, I was like, oh, that's anime. So that's regular for anime. But if I would watch both of them today and I've never seen them, I would still probably think Naruto is boring, maybe towards the Shippuden arc. Just because I feel like it's just slow.
Yeah.
And I don't know, My Hero is more like modern in today. So that's probably why it would be like a little bit more, I'd like it a little bit more. But like when you see an anime for the first time, it's like always like,
it's like,
it's like really great.
I think your analysis is right. In my opinion, it depends on my age. But then, because I'm thinking, I feel like it would differ for what I'm watching and about. If I'm watching, when I compare the two, I think Naruto had way stronger fight scenes. I can think of 5, almost 6 different Naruto fight scenes as vividly as possible, and it's been almost like a decade since I ever watched that. And so I feel like if I was judging it based on fights, I think Naruto is a better thing. But then I feel like, I don't know, I feel like when it's not fight related, most of other things that are happening in Naruto are semi boring or just okay.
Yeah.
Now that you bring that up, I feel like the big three are more fight centered.
Well, I mean, that's what Shōnen was.
No, but newer anime are like really more towards story.
That's what Shōnen was back then. It was fighting because that's what Shōnen is. It's like it's boy anime, and so boys want to see action and fighting.
Story.
And so now it's more like, okay, well, people are more than just guys are watching this. It's like everyone's watching Shōnen, so now it's like a little bit more story. There's more like characters, backstory. There's more like just more stuff.
I don't know if they think that more than boys are just watching it now.
Well, back in the day, Shōnen was boy anime. Shoujo or Shoujo is girl anime.
Yeah.
So because it was a boy anime, it was like, okay, let's put more action and fighting.
Yeah, but you can do both.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Because it's boy centered. Like back then, it's like, let's put boy stuff in it.
So people thought it's okay to be lazy and like we don't have to write stories.
Yes.
That's terrible.
It sucks for them, but that's why we have the modern Hunter and.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Hunter.
Wait, whoop Naruto's ass.
Wait, Hunter came out. There was 2011, but then there was
1990
something. So you can't really.
It's kind of hard to say, but
I only watched the 2011 one, and Hunter is better than Naruto.
Oh, it's way better than Naruto. It's way
now that has good story.
It's good story,
and good fights,
action, good characters.
But, yes.
They don't throw their side characters to the wall like, oh, y'all suck. Like, Rock Lee never... He never had a chance, let's be honest.
We know the best character.
In what? In which one?
Don't you dare say it.
Hunter. This is why I was on this show.
He likes...
Hisoka, the best character.
He likes
in
the
game.
pedophile.
You know, let's have a little talk real quick about Hisoka.
Let's stay on topic.
Let's have a little talk, ladies, about Hisoka real quick.
Anyway,
okay?
Hunter x Hunter has the best of old anime and new anime because the fight scenes are just like
they're
stupid,
good.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
And the story is still impactful because you really empathize with those freaking characters. You're like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Get him! Oh shit! And
Yeah,
he's like,
love it.
I feel, just the innocence of Gon and that one guy that... Killua is my son.
Killua basically Sasuke.
Is everything.
He's basically Sasuke.
He's better. Sasuke could never, first off.
I mean, no,
Sasuke could literally never.
Fine. He's
Sasuke is the worst goddamn friend. Just the worst character I've ever seen. Like, nigga, there's no reason for you to go evil. Like, there was literally no point, no reason for him to go evil like that. Like, it was like,
I understand Naruto wanted to be Sasuke's friend, but does Sasuke want to be Naruto?
But yes! That was the whole point. The fact that they were rivals and friends. Sasuke wanted to be better or as good as Naruto. So he's like, why I gotta go off and get stronger.
That kind of got lost in translation, which I think is where the story situation comes into play. Because I didn't really get that. Like, why?
Why go evil? Right? Why go evil? Why?
To be honest,
why?
To be fair,
it's like, why be a dick to your friend?
Right.
It didn't really matter. Actually, you know what I'm thinking? I wonder, like, who are some of the best side characters for each show, and
that was a different show. How
would you put whatever? But like, how would you put each of the best, in your opinion, side characters against each other? Like,
Bakugo is amazing.
So let's put it this way, right? So if you could just pick two people from every top anime and put them be like these people were the best side characters in my opinion, and then what would your case be?
Okay, so who's side character in Naruto?
I mean, everyone has theirs. Shikamaru was my favorite.
Oh, Neji for me. Shikamaru, Neji, and
Gaara. Sub-character or like a side character?
Sub/side.
No, because there's one that's like the friend of the main character, and then there's one that are just like...
side and sub.
Like, Sasuke is like the...
Well, Sasuke's a main side.
Main
and
side.
then, like,
Shikamaru... Because the show's about Naruto.
Yeah, so, like, I think everyone out of Group 7.
Anyone out of Group 7
is a side character.
Yeah,
because it was mostly mainly on them.
Yeah, and Kakashi and so yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's the whole conversation, though, because people say Shikamaru should have been the Hokage, but here he is.
I mean...
we're not going to talk about it, but,
we're talking about... But then this still comes back to, like, comparing the side characters of shows. So let's do Naruto and MHA, right? So we take Shikamaru and who else?
I never watched MHA.
No, I said Shikamaru and who from Naruto.
Oh, I like Gaara or I love Neji too. Gaara and Neji.
I like Gaara and Neji. Who would you pick?
I mean, adult-wise, like there was Jiraiya, there was Kakashi.
I mean, Kakashi. Well, to be fair, I wouldn't add Kakashi because Team 7.
Okay.
And then, also, I don't even want to add Jiraiya
because he's also a little bit Team 7.
He's kind of close enough to Team 7. I want someone like a little apart from that.
Hinata.
Okay, that's interesting.
But I mean, it's a bittersweet thing because I liked her and they could have done more with her.
But that's the thing about. I think the thing about.
Did you already say Neji?
Yeah, I think the thing about especially Naruto, but Shōnen Anime of the Past, which is Anime of the Past, they really didn't do justice or anything with their side characters. Not even women, just with their side characters.
That's true.
They kind of just like
women specifically.
Women specifically.
But like just side characters, they kind of just.
Was it you that said something about, or was it something on Twitter that said Tenten would have been fucking everybody up with all this? All these weapon items she could have just
Tenten just basically a glorified. She just was basically a glorified weapon seller. She did nothing. She just showed us like I got a scroll of weapons and that's just it.
She could have done like.
You know, let's do it. I think the new show Boruto. What's his name? Sasuke has that ability. What she do? And I was like, well, why not just give it to Tenten? You know,
because Tenten useless. That's just basically what they.
She's another Sakura in my opinion.
Yeah, but
her. Sakura.
Tenten
was amazing, but she low-key
Choji!
Yeah, no, but I think for me, I'm going Shikamaru and maybe Gaara.
I like Shikamaru.
Shikamaru was just that guy. I think it was easy as a kid to just like Shikamaru, and as an adult, I'm just like...
I identify with
I identify... Honestly, it's almost the same vibe as Squidward. maybe as a kid I might not have liked Squidward, but as an adult, especially that episode
SpongeBob
where it's just like
SpongeBob
is annoying, and also that episode where Squidward was just going through the same routine over and over.
Oh yeah,
and over. I'm
get
just
the
like,
canned bread, do my flute lessons.
I'm just like,
cycling. Yeah,
that looks a little too on the nose. You know, this is what adulthood is.
Oh my god, SpongeBob, what are you trying to say? Okay, so Bleach side characters.
I don't even remember characters we were like Ichigo.
To be honest,
her brother. I liked her older brother, Byakuya.
Byakuya, there was Renji.
I'll tell you, the best guy was Kenpachi.
Oh no, Kenpachi!
Kenpachi was nice, but also
Gin. I love
the shorty.
And
the one with the ice.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about. The ice.
I love Gin and Kenpachi. If we're talking about like
I love Gin and
Kenpachi was awesome.
Aizen is a really great villain.
Oh, and the dude with the hat who like
Urahara.
Not Urahara, the captain with the hat.
Yoruichi, the other captain with the hat.
And he wore like a little colorful kimono. Did he have a hat?
Are you talking about the fox dude?
I don't know. I don't remember.
So,
it's been a long time since
this is a super segue.
Decade,
like,
maybe.
Bleach had a lot of tatas.
What?
They had a lot. Like, I'm thinking, because like Naruto only had Tsunade, but Bleach was just like
out there.
Every Orihime was just like
Rukia wasn't.
No, Rukia, but that was the running joke. That was why she was always getting her ass.
What I wished they would have. I didn't finish it, but correct me if I'm wrong. I wish they would have done a little bit more with Karin. His little sister. Yes. I was like, ooh, something's happening there. No, it's not.
Which is weird that nothing happened to her because, like, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you guys know, but isn't Ichigo's father used to be also a Soul Reaper, or what's that called?
I believe a lot of things.
I believe that's why Ichigo can do the things he can because his father was a really good one,
and his mom was something else.
Which is weird that his sister can't do jack shit because they're parents. But
story. Plot armor.
Again, side characters, especially women.
But also, sorry, side note. I know we're mentioning, like, it's only Aizen that you mentioned as a side, like a villain, but like, I really loved Grimmjow and Ulcoria. Those two, I think they were very well designed characters and also really nice characters. I just like them.
Yeah, they were.
Those. I mean, I don't think
you
they
were.
Grimmjow
and who?
Ulcoria. He's the guy who had like I think one horn.
Ukiyoda.
Well, I don't know.
I thought his name was Ukiyoda. When you said that, I was like,
yeah.
It's an accent.
There's a guy. The last villain, I think, with the his name starts with a K.
It's been over a decade since I've seen
I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
Bleach was one of the things where, like, I mean, I feel like if I was to start, if they asked me, could you start Naruto and Bleach again, I would say Naruto. Bleach was, I don't know what it was. Bleach had zero replayability value for me.
Didn't they like some episodes or something like that on accident or something?
I don't know, man.
No, but I can.
There was something about Bleach that I'm like, I don't think I can go back to this. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You guys did not watch One Piece. I don't know if you saw memes or anything.
I watched the first episode of One Piece. All the way took it up to what's her name? Robin as a character.
Okay, so side characters. There's really just the pirates.
Right.
Oh, no. Okay, when you get later on into it, you get some really cool people. So Law is a really good and sexy man.
That's his name?
Trafalgar D. Law.
Oh, I thought I said Law and sexy man. That's his name. I was like, his name is sexy? That sounds low jump.
So you're getting on the fact that his name might be sexy, but not his name being Trafalgar?
Alright, bro. There's Trafalgar.
Also, everyone loves Ace. Also, there's spoilers throughout this.
Oh, Lord, Ace!
She knows that, though.
I know that because he was my favorite character.
Oh, Shanks is amazing. See, like, okay.
Shanks! Stab Shanks!
Now, to be honest, actually, One Piece does kind of have decent story and side characters, but, like, you have to, you know, when you have to watch the anime and be like, oh, shit! No way!
It's
like, so-and-so's related to who, and then he did this because he did.
Ain't nobody gonna watch this long-ass... It's like the...
I ain't gonna lie. You could read the Bible.
It's like the Bible of anime. It's just fucking long.
It's longer than the Bible. I'm sure you could read the Bible again and again and still not finish One Piece in the same time.
I don't know. I really hate it because I watch K-dramas and I hate it when they're only one season. So when there's an anime that actually is still kind of decent,
that's cool. Not 1,000 episodes.
I think it just needs. There's like a point in time where it's just like hang it up.
Let it go. Give this anime to God. Just let it go.
Hang it up. Like. I don't know. I feel like Hunter x Hunter is in the perfect spot. It's about 100 episodes or so, and I think that was a great amount for me because I look back at like some anime that
happened on purpose. That was like, don't a lot allow him to stay on hiatus. Like, what are you saying?
Right.
If he watches this,
it's not on purpose. Cool. It's not on purpose.
It's not. He'll be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be on hiatus for longer because Manuel was like, this it's okay.
I mean, honestly, if anything goes on hiatus, if there's a break and I stop, I probably might never get back. Like, this is a super side note, but Tower of God, the dude, I think the author or so, I think he's having like either taking a break for health reasons or something. Mm-hmm. But the break has been on. Like, I started Tower of God and I read everything religiously. It took me like almost a week, but I finished it. And by the time I caught up, I think he was on break for almost a year or a year and a half, if not two. And I'm just like, I mean, I hope he gets better, but like, that's a long break. We literally come back because like, it's a really long break. But you know, let's get back to like the side character, right? So so it sounds like from what everyone has said, it sounds like One Piece had a lot better side characters.
Wait, did we? Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
And you said everyone, but I was the only one who said anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's fair. I didn't watch One Piece.
Yeah, I watched.
While I know it and I can probably identify the
characters. All of them, I guess I would say yeah. Well, I don't know, because like each anime had their own good side characters.
They had their own good, but like
they did, but
I'm connected to One Piece's characters more. I'll say that.
I guess
all I can say.
I guess that's fair, but then let's spin it to like the current one. Mm-hmm. So if we go for Demon Slayer, for
Zenitsu. Oh, I guess he's a main character. But he's amazing.
Zenitsu is a main. Zenitsu.
Well,
why is he not main? The guy with the kente claw?
Yes, Giyu.
That's not his name. His name is Tevioka or whatever.
No, it's not.
I could have sworn the one with the half kente, half what. The only reason I like that dude was because I was the African press. I think I was like black. I know you're not black, but I saw
he's
that.
He's a good second, and then like the 13.
To be honest, all those people there are very
they're pretty interesting.
But I mean, I think for me, all my anime, there are characters I see and I'm just like, you just need to act, and once I see you, I know I like you. Mm. The butterfly girl, I immediately knew I was gonna love her.
A good
I don't know her name.
I didn't see. I'm just watching.
Okay, that's fine. When you watch the show, there's like basically they have the Demon Slayers have like a group, and there's a lot of them, like 13.
Like the top of the
top, and then the top of the top, there's one guy who interacts with the main character first before he then gets introduced to the rest of the gang. And then when they get introduced to the rest of the gang, there's this one girl who's just like a butterfly. She's very eccentric, but what I like her is just like she poisons people. Yeah, she's straight to the point. She's like her insects, specifically butterflies. Yes, so she poisons you, and I just love it. I love it.
But all of them are interesting when you meet all of them. So like, I think when I think about it, there's like no character in Demon Slayer that I'm like, like all the characters actually be like,
there's your own thing going on. All right, what's after Demon Slayer?
I mean, I don't want to mention Hunter x Hunter because the greatest one is there, so we'll just put it to the side and be like, back to MHA. You said Bakugo. Who else? Go on. For
Might. Is he a main though?
No, he's not a main.
Is he a main?
Yeah, he's a main.
Yeah, he's close enough. Going off, he's close.
He's literally training, the main guy. Fair. So out of the students specifically,
class captain dude wasn't that great, to be honest. He's aight.
His brother died. He became a little evil.
Yeah, I do like the villain, but then do we consider villains also main because of their thing? Because it's almost like let's go back to Naruto, right? Would you consider Orochimaru a main character?
No, because he didn't show up all the time. I would consider him a side character, even though he's the main villain for a certain point. He wasn't there enough to be like, oh, you're always there. He was just popped up here and there, and like you maybe hear his name. I mean, so I wouldn't consider villains as main characters. They're the main villain, but not main character.
Okay,
they're still main something.
But I don't think they're like there enough to like, or even close enough to the protagonist to be, or the main character to be a main character.
Let's use Avengers, Marvel for an example. Is Thanos a side character?
Well, I think that's a little bit different because he like they had whole movies where he was constantly
he was the villain. So were the heroes the side characters?
Yeah. No. The side characters were their side characters, like Nick Fury or Pepper Potts or.
All right, so like,
I get where she's coming from.
I get it, but I feel like because he was more present, and since just like a movie is more condensed.
That's fair.
He was more present in the movies as opposed to Orochimaru, who was like not as present over the long ass episodes.
I mean, but then to be fair, if they did stretch out the movies almost like anime, then he might have an Orochimaru like presence where he's still the main villain.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of like.
I guess it's hard. It's
a movie versus a show. Like since the movie very small, he was there more.
Okay, I guess for the purpose of this argument, let's just say main villains are still not. You can be a side villain. You can't be main basically. If you're a villain, you can't be the main character. I like the villain. I thought he was cool. The dude with the hands on his face. Whatever his name is.
Child.
Right.
He's not even the real villain.
He's not.
I mean, I don't like him. My honestly, it is great. I just think he's interesting enough with his power. That's what I've not really paid enough attention to MHA, and I know it's great, and I'm like, yeah, but like it's just. I think the kid is a little too childish for me. He's too kiddish for me to like.
Midoriya?
Yeah, he's not.
Oh,
He's
he
not.
is.
He is a child, so that's not
I
like.
really didn't like him because again I compared him to Naruto. I was like, Naruto wasn't a bitch like this. That nigga crazy.
Naruto
like,
was.
I was like, Naruto would never. He wasn't no bitch like this.
Well,
Naruto
yeah,
had hard from the jump.
But it does give you like different. It just gives you a different like. This is an origin story.
It is.
So it shows you how he. Hopefully in the future he's not doing this, but
hopefully.
It shows you. Also, would everyone be able to relate to him if he wasn't as emotional as he was? Because when you think of a hero,
that made him a little more annoying though.
When you think of a hero, you don't think of someone crying their eyes out all the time. You even hear All Might being like, "Stop the waterworks, bro."
I mean,
stop that.
I think for me, my thing in terms of just being like a hero or anything, it's just like, make the moves. One of my worst characters of all time in any anime I've ever seen is the stupid boy in Mirai Nikki. If you've ever watched Mirai Nikki Future Diaries, it's literally just like there's a girl and there's this one guy. I'm not even going to go into the plot of anything, but this guy is the main character, but he's extremely useless, and this girl does everything for him. And I'm just like, how can you be just so useless? It always I think back to also bringing it to anime we know. I think back to Sakura. Sakura was useless as shit.
Useless as fuck.
Oh my god! Especially when they were fighting Pain, this nigga on the floor.
No,
that's
good
going.
point.
Like, oh.
What was before she became Tsunade's apprentice and being strong?
She
and
had
medical. What was her abilities?
What was her niche?
Yeah, everybody had their set abilities. What was Sakura?
She didn't have anything, but she got into medical even like when she was younger. So
Really?
that was it.
But I think like
That
even
was
like
it.
taking
She
up because
didn't
medical
have
isn't really like her niche. It's just like being medical. So like, what was her like? Even Ino had like her mind thing. Like so, what
I think
Sakura has.
I think it was just like strength and.
She didn't have strength. She just bounced on the head like Naruto, bang. And Naruto would whoop her ass if he would ever hit her back.
To be honest, it was kind of just stupid.
So what was her like?
What was her one?
Yeah,
she didn't.
Throwaway character.
But yeah, no. I mean, long story short, like for me, heroes, it's not about not having emotion. You don't have to be emotionless or anything, but you can't just be a wuss. Like something causes you pain. Your goal is now to like make sure you can like.
Well, he wasn't a wuss. He
wasn't a wuss. He just cried a lot, and it's just like.
Because he still jumped into action like faster than all these other people.
He did, but the tears was just like while he's like tearing on his face. I was still like.
But I guess that's fair. You have a lot of people who just cry when they're upset. You're just like.
Hey man, when I'm angry and I'm fighting, I be
balling.
I be balling.
When I get really mad, I'm like, whoa. That's fair though.
But I think that was the story part about him was because he always cried, but then when he was fighting the sludge monster, he was like, shit, my friend! That talks shit to me!
I guess.
Yeah, that one fired it would just be like, used to bully him and shit. The homie.
Alright, is there another one?
I don't really think anyone. Bakugo. Wait, Bakugo is the main, no? Wouldn't you consider Bakugo a main character?
No.
No? Okay.
Probably maybe later in the series he becomes the main character, but
he's
still just a classmate who talks shit about him and yeah.
We should just talk about Hunter x Hunter already.
Bruh, no one wants to hear your pedophile opinion.
This is what hurts my feelings, okay?
Oh my god.
Hisoka is the greatest character to ever grace, the greatest side character to ever grace anime. I don't even know why.
So what was the question was?
The question was, as we've kind of discussed, even with our side characters kind of spin off, is what is the new top anime better than the old top anime? And I personally would have to say yes, just because like we've developed so much in like story development, character backstories, and everything, and like there's more to watch. Like we can list like a whole bunch on like both hands as opposed to just the big three that were like the best.
Yeah. Oh wait, finish.
Like even if they had like severe impact, which they did. It was just those three, and like we can really go back. I mean, you probably could watch One Piece again, but we can go back and watch it now because like it'd be like, well, Naruto's boring, and Bleach is it's just Bleach at this point.
It's Bleach.
What about you?
I mean, I think it's just. I agree, due to technological advancements and stuff. Like the modern ones are a lot better than the older ones, in my opinion. But it doesn't still take away from the fact that what the older ones did and the impact that they had. I don't think the modern ones are able to keep up. Like, again, I can only think of JoJo as groundbreaking in terms of like modernity compared to like the older anime, because I don't really know how many people are screaming like All Might or like, you know, Midoriya catchphrases the way people were like throwing like hand signs, and it's just like, don't do that, not on this block at least. Or people were like, or like, you know, people running with their arms behind their back, or people trying to pose with the biggest thing to be like, this is my sword, or you know, or someone's just like, if only I had my not Rasengan, no, but what's Sharingan, I could copy your homework. You know, or people like, making like,
or like oh my god, Dragon Ball when they
exactly, or people saying gum like, you know, that's fruit. That's the kind of thing I'm like, I'm sure people might be saying it now, like for the younger people, for like the younger kids or stuff, but at the same time, I just
when you bring that up, what are they saying?
That's the question.
Maybe
what are they saying?
Maybe they're just not providing us with anything that's catchphraseable. I mean, stuff like that, to be honest.
I mean, but like there have been moments.
Well, I think it was like more kind of like the older anime were kind of a little bit more like campy, kind of, because it was projected towards children. So it had to be more like catchphrasey, a little bit more like goofy, a little bit, like especially Naruto.
I don't think when they ran like that, they thought a bunch of children in elementary school.
I think they just thought it was cool,
wise and like funny stuff wise, that like they kind of camped it up a little bit. And like as opposed to the new anime, people know that like, oh, it's not just kids, it's like adults watching too. So we're kind of making it a little bit more like all around, instead of just hammering it towards kids.
Yeah, I mean, but even like the wardrobe that some of them used to wear, like the headbands, and like the One Piece hat.
I still see dudes with those headbands.
That's the thing. That's what's crazy. Like
I'm not really like putting it towards Impact. Like the Impact was huge, yes, but I'm just talking about the show and the story itself. Like let's not even go onward, because obviously it's gonna be different, because like old past new. I'm talking about like straight up story. And like rewatchability, like if you could watch this versus this, which one would you go towards?
I think that's a matter of opinion, but to answer the question, I don't think that the old anime is better than the new anime.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm gonna use another analogy. That's like comparing like Whitney Houston to Beyonce. There's only one Whitney Houston, there's only one Beyonce, there's only one Michael Jackson, there's only one Naruto. Naruto will always be Naruto. Bleach will always be Bleach, and One Piece. And then even My Hero was like, no one can like be My Hero. It's like when you're, for writers, they always tell you don't reinvent the wheel. Do the same shit, just like change it up a bit.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the anime today is like really cool, and like no one can take their places and everything like that. So they may be better, but like the old anime is like still OG, you know?
So then which one was it?
Neither.
Neither?
That's a cop-out answer.
It is a cop-out.
Cop-out as hell.
Cop-out
as hell.
I mean, I like One Piece and I like Attack on Titan, so I don't know what to tell you.
But then that's the thing, though. Attack on Titan, again, we're only looking at the shonen. If you
ask me, Shōnen?
No, I don't think Attack on Titan is shonen.
Is it?
I don't know. What is shonen?
I think it has a little bit too much angst and kind of dread for shonen.
Yeah, I don't really...
Is shonen not like gory?
No, angst and dread. Not that it's gory or not.
There's long story short, there's when people say like Bleach and Naruto, there's a lot of similarities between them versus Attack on Titan. Like
I thought we were saying shonen. Like I thought action guys. That's what I thought.
It's not just. I don't know how to explain it, but like when people mention shonens, Attack on Titan isn't what comes to mind first. If that makes sense.
Maybe I just don't like shonen.
No, that's fair. I think the shonen thing is kind of boring. It doesn't take away from the fact that I think tournament arcs are pretty cool, anyways.
Of course.
Because but then I've also started liking like non-battle tournament arcs, which is basically Food Wars in a nutshell.
What was the other? We mentioned not Attack on Titan. We mentioned My Hero Academia. What was the other show?
Black Clover
and Demon Slayer.
Those three, and then Hunter x Hunter kind of came up. But
kinda.
three.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like when you compare those shows, you see how Attack on Titan doesn't kind of fit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I'm thinking of Black Clover as well. Let's see. I like it, but I haven't finished it. So I have yet to see if the story is, because maybe I'm just attracted to the story more.
That's fair.
So maybe Shonen just doesn't attract me because of the stories and stuff like that, and maybe just Shonen doesn't do story like that, and maybe that's why we think the old big three is like not as good, because
they didn't do story.
Just story is just not a thing.
Action and
but I think in terms, but what I do think is like, even if they didn't do story as well, which might just be a downfall of the old big three, I do think that what they did well was fights, and their fights were.
Yes.
I'm thinking now, like the only one major fight scene, like major enough from old versus new I can think of is like the newest one to stand out will only be the one that broke the internet, which was Demon Slayer's fight where they fought and everything. She's seen it already. That's the only fight I can think of, because like when I think back, I'm like, there were a lot of OG fights that I feel like this really stood out. Like everyone keeps knowing, like Neji against Gar, that was like a standout fight. I knew the Naruto fights, like Naruto and Sasuke from the back of my hand, Itachi Sasuke, and that's just Naruto. And then I can literally go into Bleach, where it's like, okay, well, Bleach had the fight with Grimmjow, Yukari, and then like even when they were all fighting captains, and then I don't watch One Piece, but I'm sure like
there
you can think of
like when Ace was, that thing happened to him. That was like a whole war type situation.
Exactly.
I don't know if that was like a fight though.
So you can think of all those ones, and I'm like, okay, let me think of My Hero Academia. Like, I remember when they had like the little fight in the arena or whatever, where they were like, I guess
those were like 5 minutes long. The only really main fight was between All Might and
the one where he punted
for one
or whatever, where he punted that guy into the sky. Like, yeah, I remember that one, but then I'm like, does that hold weight into like one of the strongest Naruto fights? And so I think like what the old anime did well, they did extremely well, because I don't feel like fights are as great. Like fight scenes were so great in Naruto. Like
I remember OVAs.
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't have any of that anymore, because I'm just looking like, I remember when Naruto and Sasuke first fought on top of the roof. That was such a well-designed fight, and then I'm like,
he's a terrible character. I just want to put that out there. He's a horrible fucking character.
Yeah, but regardless, it's just like, yeah. So I feel like what they did well in the past, they excelled in it, which was fighting. Over here, I guess we get story and some fights, but like at least they do the blend well enough, in my opinion.
They do the blend well.
They do the blend well, so.
So then, what do you think? What is better, the new anime or the old anime?
And you can say what you like better from the old anime. Or
I think fights are interesting, you got to give me a good enough story. So, and I feel like the newer ones are doing better. Like I said, there's no way I would ever sit down. You couldn't pay me to watch Naruto or One Piece or Bleach. You couldn't pay me to watch any of that. Like pixel by pixel, I would rather watch how a screen is made. I'll tell you that much now. I'm not even gonna do anything. So, but I think that's the thing. Like, I want a story, and then we can throw in a fight or two. But even if there's never a fight in my anime, as long as there's a compelling enough story, I like it. I mean, there was no fist fight in Death Note, and I loved the hell out of that anime.
Definitely had an amazing story.
So Death Note and AOT are kind of like.
I think those are.
I think those ones are on the same. Yeah, they're more. I would put them. I wouldn't put you. You're never gonna call Death Note a shonen. I don't think you
just know what technically is. You can't really. It's not like. Yeah. You'd be like, I'm hard pressed to put it against like action anime because it's so.
So that's so those are the kind of things where I would say, but like so I feel like I need a story, so I couldn't watch any of the old stuff, even if like you removed all the filler and told me like it's only 150 episodes, like regardless of length or anything. If something is good enough, I'll watch it, because like I wouldn't have thought that I would watch Hunter x Hunter if it's like 100 and some episodes, but I watched it and I finished it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, most of the anime I like now, it's just like I like something that's like 24 episodes max or something like that. But if you're great enough, like
if they can give me a complete story, that's fine.
Yeah, like The Promised Neverland. With the trajectory it's going, I could keep watching that shit. Mm-hmm. It's 12.
That's all you gotta say. I'm gonna watch that, so don't spoil it.
Oh no, I'm not gonna. The season 2 started. You should watch it, but like, see, it's good.
You know what's a really good shonen?
When you're Wagyu steak. Oh my students. So this is assuming. Don't worry. Watch Promised Neverland on video. I'll link you up to a video about the Promised Neverland.
Oh
what
were you gonna
say? You know what's a really good shonen?
What?
Food Wars.
Is it a shonen?
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. The Food Wars
it does have all the shonen tropes, like that main character, his friends. It even has multiple tournaments.
I mean, he's fighting.
He's fighting
in the kitchen
with cucumbers and tomatoes, but he's still fighting.
Also, the best side character in Food Wars we know.
The naked dude?
Yes. You see, this is why I told you all of my characters have a theme. First of all, it's expression of self.
Oh my god.
You know damn well Hisoka probably didn't even want to wear
get off this Hisoka stuff.
And you have heard our answers. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
If you want to drag Emmanuel here for his
Manny with the fanny
love, then drag him in the comments. Just don't at us. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.